Good morning, dear children. As we continue our topic of protecting plants and animals. In the previous topic, we are discussing about how the interdependence between animals and plants exist and what are the classification of animals on the basis of their eating habits, including the four important categories: the herbivore, the carnivore, omnivore, and the last is that is decomposers. Now, here today's topic is all about interdependence in environment. As you know, a natural home or the environment of an animal or a plant where it lives and grows is called its habitat. But different types of animals live at different places. For example, I quote an example here. The polar bear lives near the poles, which are very cold. So it adapts itself to the environment and it has fur on its body to keep warm. It utilizes a lot of fat which is stored inside its body, because in the summer season it eats a lot of food, so that the fat is between his skin layers, so that it utilizes later on for the survival. For example, is cactus adapts itself according to the environment of the desert. It has a long roots which help it to take water from deep in the ground. But the interdependence in the environment depends on the two factors, or we can say our environment is basically or of two components. One is a biotic component and the second one is abiotic component. Biotic component is basically a living component, or we can say it includes all the living beings, all the living creatures, including us, human beings, animals, insects, plant, whether it is a tree or whether it is a small plant. And abiotic component is those components which support the living component to furnish. For example, it includes all the non-living things like sun, water, air, etc. For example, all the animals, all the plants, and all the human beings utilizes sun, water, air. So this biotic dependent on abiotic. So biotic component, all the human beings, animals, insects, plants depend on the abiotic factor or abiotic component of the environment. So there is a interdependence between the biotic and the abiotic component. But human activities disturb this environment. As you see, our Earth is the most precious planet in the whole solar system of all the 9 planets. So it has everything that living beings need for survival. It gives us water, air, sunlight, and many more things that we need in day-to-day activities. But due to increase in our population, we demand everything is increasing. So the demand for everything is increasing and we need more land to cultivate and to build houses. So we are cutting trees to meet our own demands, which has led to the deforestation as well as soil erosion. So human beings are actually disturbing the environment. So the environment which is having the interdependence between the two components, the biotic component and abiotic component. So we have to make this thin line balanced way, so that our biotic component only can be survived because of the abiotic components, because there is a thin relationship between the two. Living beings, all the living beings, all the living creatures depend on sun, depend on water, depend on air.